Hello world, PDR coming at you here with a Mazda 3. I think it's a 2012, I don't know. But it's obviously got this large, I don't know, basketball size dent, football size for sure. And we're out here in nature. It's a rainy day. There goes my umbrella with the Woods grip on it. But I've got it really nice and warm here. Let's see how warm we got it. $119, $114, $119, right in the middle, $120. So let's try that same method that I did on the other one, the kind of whatchamacallit approach. Suction cup, hands on, whatever. Let's see if this Woods grip will grab. You hear that? Yeah, it pulled a lot of that out. And looking through it, obviously we've got this tight little one right here, which I may have to just get in there and tool it. And this big brow up here. So I wanted to bring you guys in for that little bit right there, because I knew that was gonna make some movement. And if we take a look into that board, got this larger one here and this littler one here. I am gonna try a glue tab, which means turn that off and let it get a little bit cooler. Since it's so nice and warm, we don't want it to be super warm. Let's go back to the using the umbrella for what it's supposed to be used for. Crank it on there. And I might as well just put it, it's not gonna stay well right here, but it might. There we go. So what I'm gonna have to do is get in behind it and tool out that really tough part, but I've got the Scorpion heat gun heated up here, and I think I'm just gonna grab a big football crease, yeah, to get that one out right there. And I'm only gonna actually put the glue right in the center. I'm not gonna fill up the whole tab with the glue, because I really only wanna pull the center of that out, right? And obviously it's gonna spread anyway, but I put a line down the center. Now this panel is actually getting to that temperature that I like it. So I don't even know what that temperature is, but let's find out. 86, that 85 degrees mark. I'm gonna let that glue sit for just a bit before I pull it, because it's still at 85. And I'm gonna put a nice serious tab, Keiko nickel size or maybe quarter size tab, obviously with not a lot of glue on it, and just plop it right into the center of that guy right there. We'll see what we can do. Let's move this out of the way so I can do some of my pulls. Grab a glove, grab a slide hammer. Let's grab the big one. And I think we're just about the right time on this one to give it a little. Before I yank it any harder, I want to look. Come from the top. A couple more slides. And I think I don't really want to yank that one too much, because I can always tool the rest of that one out. This one I do. Didn't think it would move that much. It didn't. And my little cooking oil container is starting to lose its seal after a good year and a half of use, which is a good investment, because this thing really saves me a lot of time. Just being able to have that isopropyl alcohol spray right out like that. So now we shall see how much of that dent came out with just the glue pulling and the popperoo. Yeah, Yeah, a lot of that moved. I think what I'm going to do, guys, is check my inner access here, and then we'll prop this hood open, deck lid, we call this in the industry. Prop this deck lid open, get my access, have it bungeed down, have another umbrella on it, have the heat gun on it, and have my tooling action come in here and just tool this last little sucker out, because why waste time? Let's get it looking good and let's make this customer happy. We do have another dent or two to do on this car, so we might even have a couple of videos for you coming up in the next day or two. But you know, I will say the thing, I sure do appreciate everybody that clicks on this video. I really do. If you would hit that subscribe button, it sure helps out the channel. We love to see the community grow. So let's get this thing torn apart, and I don't think we're gonna do the slow-mo, fast-mo thing of me taking the whole thing apart, because I don't know if there's any personal items in this car. But I'll come back to you when it's all torn apart, and we will get working on that little dinger. Okay guys, we're back. I got this thing propped open, and I've got there is a secondary brace that's right in front of this dent. So I've got my lefty, which has a weird little bend to it, stuck up underneath that brace, and I am, let me show you here. This thing should be at about 130 degrees. It's at 107. I moved it away. Now, this is a sharp one, guys. I don't know if it's gonna be, you know, super duper 100% clean, and I'm gonna go for that, obviously. But I'm gonna try to get that meat out right now while it's really warm. And it is kind of a tough little push to find. I'm trying to bring it up slowly, but I can also feel like it just wants to volcano on me. So hopefully the sounds all right. I know I've got the little microphone on, and sure do appreciate everybody that has supported our channel. You all know who you are. Samuel S., you know who you are. Appreciate you. We're making some real weird, bouncy kind of slow pushes through this middle. And I really don't want to crack paint, so I'm trying to take my time and get that tool to right where I need it to be, which is right about there. Oh, you might want to see this. Just made those pushes through the center, brought that up. Now, this is when it looks worse before it looks better. This is that time that if the customer walks out right now, they'll think I'm just messing shit up. But right there is when we got it all crested. I'm gonna give it some taps. Before I give it some nice taps, I just want to check the density of that metal. You hear how peeny that is. And honestly, before I take out the rest of those, like before I start going in here and tapping these down and bring it back down into a dent again, I want to take out this little area and this little area, so that when I do tap, all this area remains high, if you know what I'm saying. So we will clip it right here. I'll come back and show you a couple more, I don't know, evolutions of this dent coming out in just a bit. Okay guys, it's still raining on us. I got this thing warm. Most of this stuff is out. There's a little weirdness right here that I couldn't get to because of the brace. I'm gonna come up underneath this one and find myself on the white here, so hopefully you guys have a good visual. And make some of these baby pushes right here, just for the very last bit. That high tension area. I'm hoping it doesn't crack. I'm coming back a little bit. towards myself. That is tight in there, guys. And let's make another little movement and another little push. That pretty much came out pretty nice. Now I want to do some tapping and see what I'm ending up with, because I have a little brow here and a little brow here, but it's all stuck in because of this high area in the middle. I'm just hitting the very highest points, baby taps, real small. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. We're trying out the microphone and hopefully it's working. I don't know how well it actually cancels when I'm talking and tapping and have that heat gun going. But we try to provide you the best quality content that we possibly can here. And the customer is well aware that this dent isn't going to be 100% by any means. This is definitely a band-aid on a collision. So as far as level of pickiness, I told her that I'll never get it out to the point that I want it. But it's coming out nice. Actually, if you get this angle on it right here, you can look straight into it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Where it's coming out pretty nice. As long as I keep it super warm, and now I grab my number 1 and I'm up underneath there and I'm kind of side tipping it out. So let's get in here and come on up and show you what I'm really just looking right into the center of that dent. Now I'm out on the far edge. And I'm just going to kind of walk it in as I see those strong pushes, really slowly. And obviously, guys, if I saw it crack paint, I would stop. You know what I mean? I would call it and say, let's tap it down and call it as good as it gets. But I haven't cracked paint yet, and it was a pretty sharp, severe one. So I think it's coming out pretty nice. I think what we're gonna do is come back and show you the end result when we've got it all put together and it's sitting here raining on it. And you guys can see what we ended up with. Okay guys, we're back. I don't know what your visual is on this one, but I'm just happy that we got it out without breaking any paint. Just turned off the heat gun. And we're just making some final little tappy taps right in the center of this. I moved my board and I realized that this dent went all the way up underneath this Mazda emblem. So, I mean, it's really tight in the middle here. And I know I'm at that point that I promised to the customer. I'm just kind of really trying to make it look as clean as possible at the end. This was so stretched, guys, that for me to get in there and actually push out, I know you see those little lows, but for me to get in there and push out those little tiny lows is definitely going to shatter that paint no matter how warm it is. So I really brought it up to that point that I could get it at least looking good, flat. And now I'm just trying to remove all my little, because that metal had to be pushed pretty hard. But I was going to say, you know how I said in the last time we'll put it all together and then come back, but Mazdas are so nice to put together. I'll just show you how we put this thing together. First things first, if I bent anything by having my bar in here, like right here, which I did, hence the little reason for these little guys right here, because I take my wooden tool and I just go like that. And I know that's not 100% perfect, but this is going to be underneath a cover. I want that to be flattened down just so it's in the same spot. Then we grab this guy, put it over that first, basically boom. And then these little clips are super easy. They're the kind that all you got to do is pop out the centerpiece and then they pop right out. I always put the 4 corners in first. I'll go 1, there's another corner, 2, And the simple reason for why I would do the 4 corners first, because I don't have to keep holding it. 3, now I don't have to hold it up. 4, and then it looks like we got 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. We'll find out where they go. And I grab them like that as I'm finding that hole, which, there it is. I kind of twist so that I don't fold back any of these flanges backwards. I slowly find it in that hole, and then I twist a couple times to make sure that goes in, and then boom. I mean, just breaking one of these little tiny clips is not a huge deal, but it's so frustrating when it's just a stupid little piece of plastic. So there we go. I think we're all dialed in, put back together. Let's close this trunk down and see what we ended up with. Let's not break a clip on the last one. Boom. Get my tools out of the trunk here. Shut her down. Here we go. Okay, so the difference between the large football-sized dent and that little teeny bit of marring is exactly what I promised the customer. So I know that there's probably a couple of dent guys watching this that'll say, oh man, you could have worked on that for longer and gotten it cleaner. And honestly, guys, I don't. I think I would have stopped right where I stopped anyway, because like I said, I don't want to shatter that paint at the very end and then have a little piece of touch up that would look worse. So I sure hope you guys liked this video. If you do, you know how to show me that. Otherwise, this has been PDR, and I'm out. Peace.